My dear viewers, this title seems interesting. Even the tourist can be accidental sometime. That must be steering your mind to little creative thinking. Let's see how can the accidental tourist enter into our syllabus. The story is based on the theme that is important to be well planned and organized while traveling. One must be very well planned before they make a travel trip. In the absence of preparation before setting off, the traveler is bound to encounter accident. And if you don't make your preparations all proper, then you're sure to meet with accidents. Bill Burson carried jumbled article in his bag while traveling and in the process misplaced the most important one. And then he carried, this character Bill carried some important documents and misplaced because he heaped everything up in one bag. That's not the right way. This is really fun and humor here in the story. Let's see. Of all the things I'm not very good at, living in the real world is perhaps the most outstanding. He says, of all the things I'm not very good at, living in the real world is perhaps the most outstanding. I cannot live in the real world. I don't know why. I am constantly filled with wonder at the number of things that other people do without any evident difficulty that are pretty much beyond me. I see most of the people can do every normal thing, day-to-day things in a proper way. But I don't know why I always get confused. Why I am not able to do all these things which other people can easily do. I cannot tell you the number of times that I have gone looking for the lavatory in a cinema. He goes for a washroom, searching for a washroom in a cinema, and then what does it happen? For instance, and end up standing in an alley on the wrong side, and he comes to a wrong side, to the wrong just corridor. Alley is a corridor, and then he has a self-locking door. My particular speciality now is returning to a hotel desk 2 or 3 times a day, and he's so confused at times that he comes to the reception door and this desk and asking what my room number is. I am in short easily confused. So he is accepting that I get confused very easily. I was thinking about this the last time we went a famille on a big trip. A famille, the spelling is a little different, but the pronunciation is a famille. On a family trip, it was Easter and we were flying to England for a week and they were just, taking a flight. When we arrived at Logan Airport in Boston and were checking in, I suddenly remembered that I had recently joined British Airways frequent flyer program. I also remember that I had put the card in the carry-on bag that was hanging around my neck. So he remembers that he has to take some advantage because he's a regular passenger. So he had to show one card for that purpose. So he had kept it in the front bag only. And here is where the trouble started. And the entire interesting episode starts here at the airport. He has to produce that card and he doesn't remember where he is exactly kept it. The zip on the bag was jammed. So I pulled on it and yanked, and I was just jerking at the zip with grunts and frowns and increasing consternation, and it's all happening. He's becoming so confused and so frowning and all that, and he's trying to open the zip. I kept this up for some minutes, but it wouldn't budge. It did not produce anything. So I pulled harder and harder with more grunts. Well, you can guess what happened. Abruptly, the zip gave away. The zip opened and then the side of the bag flew open and everything with newspaper cuttings, loose paper, 14-ounce tin of pipe tobacco, magazines, passports, everything that was there. You can see there in this picture also, everything that was there in the bag, even tobacco and everything fell on the ground. And it was a scene at the airport. Magazine, passport, English money, film was extravagantly, badly ejected over. Ejected over means came out of my bag, badly. And then an area about the size of tennis court, I was dumbstruck as 100 carefully sorted documents came raining down in a fluttery cascade. And then after that, not only that, other documents that were kept in the bag also came open and it just came like a cascade, like a fountain. And then he's so confused because people around are watching. What kind of a visitor is he? He can't even handle his bag properly. He just messed up with his bag and everything that was in came out. Noisy oblivions and the new lidless tin of tobacco rolled crazily over the concourse, disgorging its contents, and it went. And in the entire area, this, the lid open, and there was a small box. In that box, there was a tobacco, and it just fell over. My tobacco, I cried in horror, thinking what I would have to pay for that much tobacco, and it was very costly tobacco. So he's just shouting, "Oh my God, where is my tobacco? It's all fell over." And then suddenly he started shouting finger because he got his finger hurt. Tobacco in England, now that another budget had come and gone, and then changed to the cry to my finger. And after some time, he started shouting, "Oh my God, I got a cut in my finger." So he has created an entire humorous, entirely humorous scene there, this visitor. My finger, as I discovered that I had gashed my finger on the zip and was shedding blood in a lavish manner. Lavish manner is too much blood was coming out of the finger. I am not very good at around flowing blood generally, but when it is my own, well, I think hysterics are fully justified. And he's so scared now. He's feeling so scared because a lot of blood is getting lost there. Confused and unable to help, my hair went into panic mode, and he just had a panic attack now. It was at this point that my wife looked at me with an expression of wonder, not anger or exasperation. She's not exhausted or angry. She just said, but just simple wonder, and said, "I can't believe you do this for a living. That's how you live. What kind of an unorganized person are you?" That's what the comment was from the wife was. But I'm afraid it is so. But that's what I am, an accidental tourist. I always have catastrophes. These all catastrophes are there. All these disasters are the part of my life. He's accepting. When I travel, once on an aeroplane, I leaned over to tie the shoelace just at the moment someone in the seat ahead of me threw his seat back. So he was tying his shoelace, and the passenger sitting right up there, he just shifted his seat back, and it just gave his head a blow. Someone in the seat ahead of me threw his seat back in the full recline, and I found myself pinned helplessly, and he was punched. It was only by clawing the leg of the man sitting next to me that I managed to get myself freed. So he took the help of somebody sitting next to him, and then he came out of that disaster. On another occasion, I knocked the soft drink onto the lap of a sweet little lady sitting beside me. So he was taking soft drink. The air people, this crew was helping him serving soft drink, and he ended up throwing that soft drink on somebody else's lap. He could not even hold that glass properly, and that, the entire drink just spilled over. The flight attendant came and cleaned her up and brought me a replacement drink. And after some time, the new drink was brought. And then again, he did the same thing. And the same drink, the same lady had the same accident. Again, the drink fell over her. And instantly, I knocked it onto the woman again. To this day, I don't know how I did it. I just remember reaching out for new drink and watching helplessly as my arm, like some cheap prop in one of those 1950s horror movies with a name like the undead limb, and he's comparing his hands to that undead limb, that particular title from 1950 horror movie. He says my hand was not working. I don't know how I just fell that drink over that lady. Violently swept the drink from its perch and onto her lap. The lady looked at me with stupefied expression. She's so surprised and angry that how time and again this man is dropping drinks on me. Expression you would expect to receive from someone you have repeatedly drenched, and uttered an oath and started with, "Oh!" finished with, "Sake! Oh, for God's sake, stop it," like this. She gave a very angry reply. "Why are you doing it time and again?" And she spoke in a very angry manner. Naturally, because he is wetting her again, drenching her again with repeated, his folly. And in between had some words that I have never have heard uttered in public before. Naturally, some angry words. Certainly not by a nun, and she was a nun, but she has spoken in such an angry manner. So, he was capable enough to ruffle up the temperament of a nun also. He had made the nun also angry because he is causing this kind of accidents again and again. This, however, was not the worst experience on a plane flight. My worst experience was when I was writing important thoughts in a notebook. He was writing to-do list, what to do when I'm in the plane. No, he's writing buy socks, do that, and suddenly one more accident. It's very interesting, you see. And he's sucking thoughtfully on the end of my pen, and he's thinking and then writing and thinking and writing. At the same time, what happened is,
To watch the complete video, download the Upbind educational app from Play Store and App Store.